Former President Donald Trump was back on the campaign trail last night, almost 2 weeks after his last public appearance. Potential VP pick, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, joined him on stage last night and quickly took a jab at President Biden.
I don't want a president that's open less than our banks are open. And that's what we're facing now.
CBS News campaign reporter Olivia Rinaldi joins us from Miami. So, Olivia, as I understand it, you were at that rally last night. Have you noticed any changes in the message that Trump is delivering?
Yeah, it was his first rally after several days of being off the campaign trail. He returned to Florida and held this rally at Doral, his national golf club resort. And what I did find notable yesterday was he spent some time talking about Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, that is new. Usually he attacks President Biden throughout his speech, but last night he devoted a significant amount of time to talking about her, and not only, making jokes about her name and debuting a new nickname for her, calling her Laughing Kamala Harris, but he also linked her to some pretty potent policy issues that are plaguing this election, something like immigration. And we know that during the Biden administration, President Biden tapped Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, to be the border czar, to take immigration under her wing. Now, Donald Trump last night linked her to that and said that she never showed up, that she never completed any policy at the border, and really trying to inextricably link her to some issues we have of immigration. That's been his line and something he's focused on throughout this campaign. And he also made a comment about her being an insurance policy for President Biden, that perhaps the only reason why he picked her as a vice president is because she was, quote, unelectable, and treating her as an insurance policy. So that's an interesting thing there, that he's really spending time devoted to bringing down Vice President Harris, and to, as we have all this speculation around Trump's vice president, that he's spending time talking about President Biden's number two.
Olivia, let's speak more about that, because despite being joined by Senator Rubio last night, Trump has not announced or even really hinted at who his running mate will be. We do have the RNC coming up. When might we hear an announcement?
Yeah, Errol, it's the question I keep getting asked. When are we going to hear an announcement? When are we going to know by? And we still don't know. Some campaign officials say it could come within the next 10 minutes. Others say it could come just a minute before the RNC that starts on Monday. So we are keeping a watchful eye. But it was notable that Senator Marco Rubio was here last night. This is basically his backyard. He's from 15 minutes away from here. He's speaking to a lot of Latino Americans who were at that rally last night. So very interesting there. But Trump does have an event later this week in Pennsylvania, in Butler, Pennsylvania. That's just about an hour away from the Ohio border. And of course, Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio is someone that Trump is considering for his vice president, along with North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. So we'll be keeping an eye on Saturday to see if any of those folks show up there.
All right, Olivia Rinaldi, great update. We appreciate it.